Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about my first month on the carnivore diet, which seems like ages ago. I have been eating an animal-based diet for almost 3 years now. It will be 3 years in April. But the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about month one was because that month transformed my entire life. So, first day carnivore, if you guys watched my previous video, you'll see that I had no idea what to eat. There was no planning going into this. I see a lot of you guys on the carnivore groups on Facebook and you're getting ready to start this way of eating. You're asking really good questions. You're preparing a food list. I did none of that. The only thing I did was the night before I started, I laid in bed with my big screen iPad and I watched Joe Rogan and Sean Baker, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. If this is all that Sean Baker is saying, if this is all it's cracked out to be, I need to give this 30 days no matter what. Unprepared or not, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. So I didn't really know how to cook before this way of eating. So I am 29 now. I was like 27 or 26. Can't remember how old I was in 2019, but whatever. Mid 20s. I was not a good cook. I think I knew how to cook like one or two things. I knew how to make chicken schnitzel really well. That's like chicken breast with egg and breadcrumbs fried in vegetable oil. That was my jam. I was really good at making that. I could make really creamy, delicious mashed potatoes. I was really good at making different kinds of salads, roasting sweet potatoes. I had like my 4 or 5 meals, but that's about it. For the first 2, 3, 4 days, I ate whatever I thought was the right thing to eat. So I just would go to the butcher shop and get like a lean piece of steak, a lot of protein. If anything, way too much protein. I didn't really feel satiated and my hunger cues were so off. So I would like eat a piece of strip loin and would finish it and I'd be like, okay, I'm not sure if like I should eat more. Am I eating enough? And I would eat twice a day in the morning around like 11, and then around like 6, 7 p.m. I would eat my dinner. So that was twice a day. Very confused, not sure if I was doing it right. I bought a couple strip loins from the butcher shop, and that's what I ate up until I met up with Danny on the weekend. And that's where we kind of had to re-strategize because he was having a jolly time. He was having the time of his life because he already loved red meat. So this was like, oh cool, I can eat as much red meat as I want. I'm loving this. Whereas I was like super scared. I didn't want to touch the fat. I would try to cut the fat off the strip loin and I wasn't sure if I was doing it right. I was overthinking. I was in my head a lot. So day 4 or 5, Danny and I met up and it was time to regroup and re-strategize. So meeting with Danny, I told him I'd been struggling and I'm not really sure what to eat and something's got to change because this is not sustainable. I was like running around like a chicken with my head cut off. It was not enjoyable. So we made a list of different cuts of steaks that we wanted, different meats. Okay, so we make this list. Took some notes. We got strip loins, a lot of flat iron steaks, lots of lean muscle meat. And then we were super lucky to come across this. It was like this big, kind of like a convenience store, but with a huge meat section. And they had these amazing fatty prime rib steaks that would go on special. These prime rib steaks were like pretty massive, about this size, lots of nice marbling, and I think they were like sometimes like $12.99, $10.99 a steak. That's Canadian dollars, so that's probably like that's under 10 US dollars. Hello, we can't find that. They were really, really delicious. At first, I didn't think so because I was disgusted with the fat. Absolutely disgusted. So we kind of stocked up a bit. We didn't live together at the time, so Danny took his meat. I took my meat, but it was just beef, just like strip loins, flat iron, prime rib. So a combo of lean muscle meat and then more like marbled fat steaks. So it was time to go home and learn how to cook them, which I had no freaking clue how to do. During the first month, I think I overcooked or burnt more steaks than I'd like to admit. And then I would just like sit there and actually eat this overcooked steak. And at first, I didn't like my steaks medium rare. Now I love them medium rare. I kind of like them more on the bloody end, just like a quick sear on each side. But at first, I was repulsed. It was like it wasn't just like the mental, it was like my physical body could not stand the thought of eating like a rare piece of meat or the fat. And I don't know what that has to do with, but I remember when I was a child, my mom would buy like cold cuts, kind of like mortadella, and sometimes the slices would have these like these pieces that were not grinded properly in the process, and just the thought of those like the feeling of those crunchy fat pieces would make me want to throw up. So I had that to overcome. The first month was kind of like a lion diet for us. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of Michaela Peterson. So she kind of talks about the lion diet, which is just beef, salt, and water. So we did that unknowingly, that we were doing the lion diet. And then eventually, gradually, we started reintroducing a couple of things. But actually, what I did eat during the first month as well was salmon, which was so good. And we started buying some lamb because we found some really cheap grass-fed lamb from New Zealand at the local grocery store, and it was so incredibly cheap. So that was yummy. But it was so funny. I remember going over to Danny's house and he cooked us some of those prime rib steaks. And that was like the first time that we sat down and really enjoyed a steak together. And I was kind of just eating only the muscle meat and I trimmed the fat off. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And Danny was like, you're gonna eat the fat. So I kind of just forced myself to eat the fat. And the weird part was that on week 3 of the carnivore diet, everything changed, but like literally overnight. The first week and also the second week, I was very, very tired. I would come home from work and I had no energy. Mentally, I was just, I was a wreck. It was also really awkward to explain to my coworkers that I was like on an all meat diet. So I remember we had a team meeting and I told them that I was going on a keto diet just to kind of make it not so weird. But yeah, it was weird. It was a weird 2 weeks for me, a really rough transition mentally and physically. I I felt down a lot of the time, and I remember I remember one time eating. I made tilapia with butter, not a fatty cut of fish at all. So like that, it's just pure protein. And I was starving, and I made tilapia. I don't even know how I made it. I think I just baked it. Wasn't yummy. It was like tasteless. And I'm sitting there at the table, and I'm like a little baby. I'm like, Mom, I'm so tired. I don't want to do this. I don't think I can do this. And my mom's like, she's so funny with like her Romanian accent. She's like, you started this, you're gonna finish the 30 days. Come on, don't be like that. And I was like, oh no, like she's in on it too. I was like, it was like that one moment where I wish that she would like just say, okay, no worry, just throw in the towel. You don't have to do it. But I'm like, man, I gotta finish this. So, but yeah, week 3, everything changed. And it all began with this sudden craving for red meat. Week 3, I became a little bit of a ravenous little animal and I started to crave red meat and the fat. I had no more issues with consuming animal fats. In hindsight, I wish it was grass-fed, but it wasn't, and I'm okay with that because it got me to where I am now. And I do believe that animal protein it was something that my body was truly lacking. Animal fat, that grass-fed or not, my body was like, thank you so much. I really felt this shift. And I remember driving to work and I was at a red light. This is week 3. I'm at a red light, and all of a sudden, it's like, this is gonna sound kind of silly or like woo-woo to some people, but it's not. It's my personal experience, and it's very dear to me because I still feel the same way. I felt like there was a shift in my state of mind. I felt the sense of calmness and clarity take over to the point that I grabbed my phone and I messaged Jenny and I'm like, oh my God, dude, I don't know what's going on, but I think I'm starting to feel the benefits of this carnivore diet. And it was surreal. I felt so clear-minded, so focused, and so energetic. Like my energy levels skyrocketed, and it really exposed to me how tired and lethargic I had been. And I did not realize like the previous state that I was in, going to work, coming home, kind of tired, kind of sluggish. I thought that was normal. I thought that was just what happens after like a long day of work, driving around. But I was very surprised when I was shown the opposite: consistent energy levels, sharp focus, like an elevated state of mind. It's like, it was like this rush, kind of like a really subtle high. I was like, what is this? Is this what I've been missing out on? Is this like a nutrient deficiency that I've now like fed through these nutrients? Now I'm good. Is this what I'm supposed to feel like? Sorry, bacon break. Okay. Really, I did take a bacon break. So I guess what I would like to share with you guys is, looking back, is there something that I could have done differently to optimize this diet, to make the process a bit smoother? Definitely, totally. I think that it took me by surprise. Like, this diet shocked my body to the core, and it like forced me really quickly to become fat adapted. And like I said, my body was shocked. I remember the first time I made broth was like on week 3. And not to give too much info, but I literally finished a bowl of broth and I ran to the toilet. So I spent a lot of my time on the toilet, and I never knew that what happened in there was possible. Was bad. And that was my body just not knowing how to digest the fat. I went from someone that was eating such a heavy carb diet to 0 carb, and now here I am, like animal fat every day. So maybe what I would suggest, and the crazy part too is, actually, let me add, is that I ate a lot of lean meat at first. So it's not like I started off with fatty cuts. So even just like the fat on 2 strip loins in a day sent me to the bathroom. So what I would say is, if you don't want to go cold turkey, you don't want to go cold turkey because you think it will be too difficult, I would say to just try to eat as much meat as you can. So increase your meat and decrease all the other bad stuff. Or if you can, completely eliminate. There's no reason that you should be eating vegetable oils. I wholeheartedly believe that. Not a single human should be eating vegetable oils. Canola, sunflower, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, throw it out. It's garbage. You don't want that. So that's step 1. And then step 2, no processed food. None at all. Anything that's made in a lab, throw it out. no pasta, no processed carbs. What I would say is focus on, if you cannot just do meat, have your safe carbs. Have a little piece of squash, have a little avocado, have a little pumpkin, whatever you gotta do to make it easier for you to digest the meat, to take in the meat. A lot of people are not used to eating meat every single day or meat at every meal. So if you need a little assistance from your vegetable friends, you can go ahead and do that, of course. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can choose vegetables that are low in oxalates, low in anti-nutrients. Maybe you don't do so well with nightshades. You can you have the option to do that, and that's what's exciting. You have the option to take matters into your own hands, and there's not a one size fits all for everybody, right? So you can pick and choose what works for you. So it's just really about making those small changes in your everyday cooking habits, like the fats that you're cooking with, the oils that you're cooking with. If you have a busy schedule, maybe meal prepping ahead of time so that you don't find yourself having to go to a fast food restaurant or eating something bad because it's more convenient and more readily available. So planning ahead is going to definitely have to be part of the game. I did not plan ahead the first week and I really struggled. I was literally chasing my tail, but it was the most I'd say it was the most difficult challenge I've ever done in my entire life, but the most rewarding. Absolutely, hands down, it was the most life-changing experience to go carnivore for 1 month, and then I continued after that. I'm still eating animal-based. Um, One thing that I will add is if you can't go cold turkey, I would aim for like, and I'm not a doctor, of course. I'm not giving medical advice. No medical advice here. But if you find that you don't want to go cold turkey, can't go cold turkey, and I'm not advising to go cold turkey, just make sure that the majority of your plate is meat and then have a little vegetable garnish there. So I don't know if that means 70% meat, 60, 75, 80. You play around with it, but do not fear the meat. It was here for a long time before all the other foods were available. So don't fear the meat and just know and trust that it's here to nourish your body and just see it like a medicine. Like the first month when I was eating all these soups and my parents were kind of looking at me like I was crazy. I was like, Petra, this is medicine. This is medicine. This is medicine. So that really, really helped me out a lot. And then one last final thing I wanted to mention was I thought I was going to be doing this for 1 month, like a 1 month challenge. I saw so many improvements within the 1 month, starting with like the third week. So like that final week of the month was transformative. But I had it in my head that I was gonna go keto after. So towards the end of the month, I started researching low oxalate vegetables, low anti-nutrient vegetables, what are the safe vegetables to eat. And then I just found it to be super overwhelming because there's like so many categories and this vegetable has this percentage of oxalates or you got to soak this, sprout that. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I had family members asking me like, okay, you've reached the 30 days. What are you going to do now? You're going to go back to normal? Are you going to join us, eat with us? And I realized that I was kind of living in the values of other people by wanting to go keto. And I thought, you know what, maybe if I just add back in a few more vegetables that I can enjoy my meals with my family again. I won't be that weird meter girl weirdo. And then I was like, no, you know what? I feel really good. I'm gonna continue this. I'm gonna go month 2. I'm gonna take it month by month and we're gonna see how it goes. And I gradually reintroduced eggs. I introduced egg yolks first, different types of fish, shrimp, chicken, pork, and it was a learning experience each time. But I really, really applaud myself for continuing to do what made me feel good because it brought me here to where I am today. And I have reversed multiple health issues which I will share with you guys in my next video. So stay tuned. I hope this video was helpful. And if you're curious about trying this, I don't want to say diet because I don't believe it's a diet. I believe that it is the carnivore diet has healing properties, nourishing properties, and many people can benefit from it if done the right way. So if you are considering this way of eating, I hope my videos are helpful. If you have any questions about my journey, leave a comment below, and I will try my best to answer them. I'm not a health expert nutritionist, a medical professional. I'm just a 29-year-old girl who has reversed multiple health issues by incorporating animal protein and fat into her diet. So I'll do my best to help you. So thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed these other two videos on the screen. See you guys later.